you know, takes a real man to wear a rendering of another man with his, you know, situation on full display on his chest.
That's the
I salute you,
situation.
sir.
Not the situation. Hey man, what's going on, y'all, ladies and gentlemen? It's time, man. It's Friday. So 10, well, after 10, 7 Pacific out there with Uncle Bobby, man. Your boy KWhit Brothers over with Drastic, JDMIC, and of course Audible Bobby G, man. It's in the hoop. And you know how we do it, man. We do got the cold open. So let's go ahead and throw it up. Let's go ahead and throw it on the screen, fellas, man. Hey, so LeBron is now the all-time leader in minutes played as he passes Kareem with 57,471 minutes played. What's the longest you ever stayed at a single job? Uh Bobby, what's the longest you ever stayed at a job, man? How long you been working?
I have to say it was probably the 8 years I served in the Air Force.
Okay, we appreciate that, yeah, man.
So that was yeah, that definitely be the longest. I mean, I plan on living for quite a while, so I guess it will soon be working for myself currently, you know.
Right. You know it.
But as it stands now, yeah, my time in the Air Force. Shout out to my brethren who still getting it in.
Right. Jay, what about you, man? Longest job you ever been at?
Man, I'm a mercenary, man. I'm like Kawhi. I'm a Kawhi Leonard out here in these, yeah, in
So
real
you don't
life.
work. That's what you're saying.
Um, you know, I think Whit know where it was going when he. I was like, wow, I didn't pay attention to this cold open. I overlooked this part. So I wish I would have had a conversation like, yo, you know, I am Tommy out here in the street, but you want me to, what do you want me to do? But here I am.
A
Yeah,
better example may have been like Ryan Fitzpatrick. We'll give you that.
Okay, yeah, right.
He fits magic.
You'll
You
work
know,
every.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I say about 7 years.
Okay.
About
Right.
7 years. You know, uh, but yeah, I was always it's where it's at. Like it's wherever I want to be. You know, like I'm
Right.
not feeling that. I'm a Kawhi. I'm straight Kawhi Leonard, man, for real. Like
No,
I'm
Kawhi
not
doesn't.
feeling
He
this.
doesn't work at all.
Right. So, you know, I know I'm at a job, but it kind of defeats the purpose, you know, to me to do a lot of work on a job.
Wow.
So sometimes, you gotta change situations.
Kawhi Leonard ain't even collecting the paycheck at this point. It's workers' comp.
Listen, bro.
I've done that too. I've done that too.
Listen.
Whit would be right there to tell you, I was out about 2 years, man, with a wrist injury. Couldn't live. I was legit
We
out of
don't need to know how
commission.
you got the wrist injury.
See,
Yo, but
see,
but
Let's,
but the but the time we spent wisely, right? We got a little 1,800 like once a month.
oh my gosh, you sure it was once a month?
There might have been twice. It might have been
Okay,
twice.
we had fun
Yeah,
though, man. Yeah,
we had a
I had
good
a lot of
time,
time
man.
to
We did.
myself at home, chill, grill out. I was getting a check, so yeah. But nah, for real though, seriously, if you and I'm not a knock on LeBron, but I'm glad that someone he took advantage of all the time that he's been in the league. It'll be terrible. Like, I wonder how many minutes Adonis Haslam has played, even though
Wow,
he spent most of his season on the bench. But
wow. That's
um
that's a good analogy. That is a great
uh
analogy.
Adonis Haslam has a lot of minutes like of watching or watch time. That's Hall of Fame right there, stat right there. His watch time should be Hall of Fame alone. His legend
Wow,
alone. But
wow.
yeah, shout out to LeBron though. He took advantage of his time. That's all I always tell Trevor, man. Big LeBron fan. Shout out to Trevor.
Shout out to T Sweat, also known as T Sweat, but you can call him T Sweat.
He took advantage of his time. What else can you ask for?
And
Therefore, he's a great.
see for me, right? So I Anybody knows me, man. My little crew, man. We used to take over your favorite fast food restaurant. Like one of us would get hired, then magically you got to hire all of us because that's how we used to roll.
Should I say where?
Yeah. So we used to work at a Sonic. We for the third restaurant we took over was a Sonic in Orangeburg. They
You was on the roller skates.
No, we was in the kitchen. I was the drive-through man. If y'all don't know, I got the personality, so I was in the drive-through window, handing out food, parking cars, telling
stress the handing out part.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Asking chicks what kind of sauce they want. I'm like while I'm in the middle of like yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? That was my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Serious.
Yeah, no, I'm dead ass. That was definitely my joke. I would definitely look your girl dead in the eyes and ask her what kind of sauce she want. But at the same time, I think just like anybody, especially LeBron, I got tired of it, man. I had to take me a break. LeBron took a sabbatical. He's been in the league so long. LeBron took a real sabbatical and then magically came back and played for just about half the game and eclipsed Kareem's record. Once another of Kareem's record. Kareem ain't gonna have nothing mess around with LeBron. And then the number's gonna be going up so high, it'll never be eclipsed again by any known man in this era of basketball. So with that being said, big kudos to LeBron. Shouts out to him for taking Kareem out of the record books one more time. And on that note, you know how we do, man. It's time to go. Here go the intro. Yes, sir. Ski, man. We are back. That's right. It's the home team. We running threes like we always do, man. Well, sometimes we run fours, but right now we running threes. It's the guys from the RecRoom Sports / Let's Talk Sports family. We are doing In the Hoop tonight on Friday. And of course, y'all know me, man. It's your boy KWhit, Mama's #1 draft pick. And we are getting ready to head into that Christmas season. And we are having non-traditional Christmas dinner this year, ladies and gentlemen. Non-traditional. Put that turkey down. I don't want no glazed ham, even if it's the boar's head honey glazed ham. I don't want it. Let's do something different. Let's hook it up. You know what I'm saying? Let's get together. Let's plan out a meal that does not involve the usual suspects for Christmas dinner. Okay, because I feel like some of y'all holding on to memories from Thanksgiving, and I just don't want to repeat it. But anyway, once again, y'all know how we do, man. We got our guy. Cleveland's home, but Las Vegas is home right now. Audible Bobby G. Audible Bobby G. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
All good, all good. Shout out to my Cleveland Cavaliers coming out victorious over the freshly crowned in-season champion Milwaukee Bucks tonight.
Oh man, see, look at that. You already alluding. That's foreshadowing. You're already alluding to something that we will cover in the game. But yeah, big shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're gonna see them in the playoffs. And of course, man, we got Jay, the MIC. Jay was really good.
Bobby, do you know the Cleveland song that y'all got? That
Cleveland
song?
Rocks. Yes.
No, like what? Cleveland?
You talking about MGK?
No, I'm talking about this old the song that the dude sings on Major League.
What?
Never
Cleveland
mind.
Rocks.
That's it?
Cleveland Rocks. Cleveland Rocks.
No.
I'm thinking. I thought y'all was talking about first.
I'm about to say I'll sing that song.
That's the Cleveland song I know.
I'll sing that song if the Cavs win a postseason series.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like there's a bit has been thrown down.
I'll do anything if the Blazers win a game. Like, how about that?
Whatever, man.
How about don't even win a game? How about outscore the other team in a quarter?
We are. That's dirty, man.
Oh, no, now is not the time to throw stones at the Cavs. You want to throw stones at the Browns? Go ahead.
It's always that
throw
team.
Stones at the Cavs.
It's always that team, man, that goes out there. You know it. There's always that team that comes out and like they they had a great charge and they win like 60 games, and then it's like, why? And I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there, man.
Just
I mean,
throwing it out.
Let the Blazers have been that team for quite some time.
okay.
Wow.
How many times the Blazers been to the finals? How many times the Cavs been to the finals? Come on.
Wow.
You really want to line it up with Cleveland?
It might be.
You really want to have the Blazers won a championship this century?
Wow. Come on, man. We're not starting to show off with
When
low
you're
blow.
talking about one, man, I can hear you, man. I can hear you clearly. It's just, you got one, and it certain circumstances, you
One
got one.
is the
Everybody,
loneliest
we got
number,
one.
but it's better than zero.
That's true.
Hey, if only Bill Walton's feet would have just lasted a little bit longer, man.
They even made the final century.
Wow. See, Bobby gonna keep going. So, ladies and gentlemen, man, y'all know what we do. We got the current events for.
How about the Cleveland Terriers, yo?
Wow, we got the current events for this current NBA season. It's a couple things going on, and I'm excited to talk about these. Y'all hear the gang? They are already going at it again.
It's all
Yeah, of course, man. It's all love in the hood, man. So right now, let's go ahead and get into it, man. So coming up next, I thought this was pretty cool, man. You know, each and every year we get a slew of some of our favorite NBA players. Look at this. Look at this. We get a slew of some of our favorite NBA players who get nominated for one of the most prestigious rites of passage if you ever were to pick up a basketball. And this year is no different as we get ready to celebrate the Naismith Hall of Fame first time nominees. Now, of course, last season, and seasons before, we got, Vince Carter. A couple years ago, we had Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. We had Tracy McGrady going a couple years before. Like, the list goes on, and these are more of our more recent All-Stars and Hall of Famers going in. I remember Chauncey Billups going in last year and him standing up there at the podium and putting on the buffs. If you know anything about saying that Detroit, what up, though? You know what I'm saying? The buffs are symbolic eyewear to the real players of Detroit. And definitely that's one of those memories I got. And then, of course, like I said, more recently we got VC and his whole basically triumphant moment on stage where he got to talk to his cousin and Tracy McGrady, who's already in there. I think that was great. But this year's nominees, of course, are great as well. And it's some noticeable names. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick it to up. So let's start off with the WNBA nominees who are first ballot. Let's see who we got. So off gate, man, you see we got Sue Bird, Sylvia Fowles, and Maya Moore. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know, but these three women here, right? This is about let's say seven. Let's say seven. That's about like 12 WNBA championships. Right. My math might be wrong, but it's at least 12. Okay. Right there on the screen, right there. You can admire Moore and Sue Bird, both phenomenal collegiate athletes and champions. And Sylvia Fowles made her name in the WNBA, not only on the offensive end, but the defensive end with the Minnesota Lynx. This right here is what you're talking about when you talk about women of basketball going in. Sue Bird, none other than one of the best to ever lace them up, male or female. You know what I'm saying? And then her resume, as far as her accolades go, far beyond a lot of the men who are in to be honest, a lot of the men in the Naismith Hall of Fame. So, fellas, man, as we look at the women, Sue Bird, Sylvia Fowles, and Maya Moore, what are we thinking about when we see these three names? I mean, we might as well just shoo them all in, or what? Jay, what you thinking, bro?
Hey, shout out to the Gulliver Prep. You know what time it is. She escaped town and went to LSU, but definitely Miami girl. Sylvia Fowles, man. I guess like out of all three, she probably, she had like a 15-year career. I think she played like 15 years. Um, you know, bang down low. You know what I'm saying? Low post. She was pretty. I don't know. Like she's probably the most. I would say that's probably not as much as a household name as the other two, but definitely, around these parts, basketball wise, who Sylvia Fowles is. You know what she brought to the game. Um, of course, like she's going in kind of young. It's just great to see people that you actually got to watch play are still going in, while they still, have some youth to them. She's like 39, she ain't even 40 yet. I think Sue Bird is 41. All right.
I think she was the oldest player at the time that her last season. So at this point, is she 41? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, but I mean, it's all relatively young, man. And
Yeah,
Maya
yeah,
Moore,
yeah.
I wish she was able to, I wish she kind of played a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But like with women, it's just different things that they kind of deal with. They got to take time and stuff like that. But man, it's awesome. It's just awesome to see people that you got to watch play, man. Like get in instead of like some of these people who you like who. When it comes to the NFL and Major League Baseball, you like, shit, I have no clue who this person is, but I'm sure they did well. And you hear about their stats and everything. It's like, all right, cool. But these are great people I actually know, follow their careers some type of way. Like I said, Files, I will point out more because I didn't, low post, wasn't as extravagant as the other two. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to her, man. She definitely 2 times, I think she won two with the Lynx. Um, Teammate of uh, Augustus. I don't know why I had a crush on her. Like I don't know why I had a crush on Augustus, but anyway, yeah, they won a couple, but yeah, like Sylvia Fowles, man, definitely. I'm pinpointing her because she like is not as heralded. She's not as known as the other two. Shout out
Mhm.
to the other two as well, legends.
Definitely, definitely. Bobby G, man, looking at the ladies from the WNBA going into possibly going into the Naismith Hall of Fame, man. Who stands out to you on this list?
Honestly, I'm in agreement with Jay, man. It'd be Miss Foles because um, she isn't the household name. She's just one of those players that was a worker. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, never averaged under double digits in her career. She was a grinder. She did all the dirty work. Um, and it's one thing, when we acknowledge our stars and our superstars, but to me, it's even better when we can acknowledge the quote unquote role players. Like, she was basically, I'm not saying her game was similar, but I mean, it's like the way in the NBA we can appreciate a Ben Wallace, a Dennis Rodman, how we can appreciate, the guys that just do all the dirt, like Derek White right now for the Celtics. Uh,
Great analogy. Great analogy.
right, it's great, just great to see those people get acknowledged. So see, like we knew Sue Bird was gonna get her day. We know Maya Moore was gonna get her day. We know, like right now, of course, projecting, health pending. We know one day Caitlin Clark will get her day. But what about the people that help her be Caitlin Clark? What about the ladies on the Aces that help Asia be Asia, help Kelsey Plum be Kelsey Plum?
Mhm.
So yeah, I love it when the quote unquote others, the Shaq term, when they get acknowledged is great. It just goes to show, you don't have to be elite. You put your head down, you do your work, and you will get the credit you deserve.
Word. Now, I gotta piggyback on a lot of what you guys said, man, because when I look at these things that jump out at me, Jay hit the nail on the head. Longevity of all of these women pretty much can go to Sylvia Fowles. As we say, from 2008 to 2022, Sylvia Fowles was in the league. 2017 MVP, two-time WNBA champ, three-time rebound champion, 2008 All Rookie Team, eight-time WNBA All-Star, two-time Finals MVP. Stuff like that doesn't jump out to me when we say Sylvia Fowles. 2-time block champion, 4-time defensive player of the year, 11-time all defense. No, this is you when you think of Sylvia Fowles, and when I think of Sylvia Fowles, I'm not realizing that it's gone on that long. With the Minnesota Lynx and then the Chicago Sky. Well, from the Chicago Sky at the beginning, to the Minnesota Lynx, her 2 stints there because she did take a little brief time off. I think that was somehow what made her great was that she came back and then developed more of a low post game, which is what got her to that second finals MVP. But of course, man, got to give it up to one of the GOATs, which of course is Maya Moore. I think Jay made a mention of the briefness of her NBA career, a WNBA career. And then even when you think about how brief it may have been, to look at the accolades when you're thinking of 2011 rookie year, 2014 scoring champ, 3-time All-Star MVP, 2011 rookie All-Star team, 7-time All-NBA, WNBA, and 2013 Finals MVP. Like this career could have gone on to do so much more, but I believe she took a more of a what's a good word for it? She took a more of a philanthropic role outside of basketball, and that's applaudable. You know what I'm saying? Especially like Jay mentioned, man. There are other things that influence women's sports, that don't necessarily influence men's sports. They want to be, have a family. Their bodies may, age differently, so to speak. And then, of course, when we talk about aging, you got to throw Sue Bird in there. I don't even do I really got to tell you, right? 4-time WNBA champ, 2006 All-Decade, 8-time WNBA, 3-time Sportsmanship Award. Also won on one of the undefeated UConn team. I think 2 of the undefeated UConn teams, if I'm not mistaken. She was on those. Like the list goes on and on when it comes to Sue Bird. So these 3 ladies right here, I don't know how you can exclude one of them and say that the other 2 or one is going to be first ballot, the other 2 aren't. I really don't know how. This is a truly just got a notification that somehow, some way, I think they're going to get all 3 of them in first ballot. Good shouts out to my sources. Thank you very much. But this is crazy, bro. I really don't see how you don't skip out on any of these women to go into the Naismith Hall of Fame in 2025. But speaking of Naismith Hall of Fame, man, we got to talk about the fellas. And this year's first ballot nominees are some of the most respected names in the game, really current, and it jumps off the screen literally when you see them, because we got names like Marc Gasol, Dwight Howard, Amari Stoudemire, and Carmelo Anthony. Now, it's a little controversy sometimes when we bring up, maybe when we think of Dwight Howard, but when you say Dwight Howard and you just speak about basketball, only basketball, strictly basketball, nothing else, just basketball. This you know what I'm saying? You go ahead, throw the books out. You know what I'm saying? Carmelo Anthony, we know what the deal is. Okay, Carmelo Anthony, we definitely seen the height of his career being, just like when they say walking bucket, that is typically what you think of when you think of Carmelo Anthony. Marc Gasol, the other Gasol brother, you know what I'm saying, came into the league at a young age, basically got traded for his brother to go to Memphis so that the other brother could go to LA. Like this was, and then to think about their Olympic records as well. Like they were leading that Spain team through everybody at one point in time, the Gasol brothers. And then, once again, we get to somehow, some way see the second iteration of their career as he went to LA for a short period of time. So, fellas, man, we got four of the best players in the last decade. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know who gets left off of this list either. So when we thinking about the fellas we got possibly being nominated to the Naismith Hall of Fame, man, Which one of these guys stands out to y'all out of the four?
I answer your question with a question. Just do me a favor.
Go ahead, sir.
Which player would you rather have? This is and these aren't career numbers, but it's
Which player would I rather have in their prime?
No, listen, it's the chunk of their prime. This is the basically the meat of their prime. 19 points per game, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 52% from the field, 17% from 3, 72% free throw shooter.
Oh yeah, you got to be talking about like Marcus All, if I'm right.
Versus, or would you rather have this guy? 19.9 points per game, 9 rebounds. Oh, wait a minute. Chill. Okay, 19.8 points per game, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 48% from the field, 34% from 3, 83% from the free throw line. Which player would you rather have?
Yeah, you got to be talking about Melo with that one, right?
Just a player, first player or second player?
I don't know, man.
I'll take the second player.
19 and 10 with the better 3-point shooting and free throw shooting. Okay, how about you, Whit?
I mean, logistically speaking, that second stat line stands out pretty well to me.
Okay, slightly better. Okay, I have a third question for you, or a second question. Is Sean Marion a Hall of Famer?
I knew this is what he's talking about.
Wow. I would consider him a Hall of Famer, but maybe not first ballot. Maybe not first ballot.
You consider him a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, maybe not first ballot.
How about you, Jay?
He was a linchpin on
shaking his head no. So he's got that. If you got to think about usually the rules, you got to think about it. The answer is no.
And he got 1 ring. And he got 1 ring too. Throw that in there. 1 ring.
Okay, but I clue you in. You guys think player 1 is Marcus All? No, it's not. It's Amari Stoudemire. That's my biggest ring. Why is Amari Stoudemire going to Hall of Fame? He wasn't even better than the same player on his own team, and who's not going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I figured that was either Gasol or Stoudemire.
Like, what did Amari Stoudemire do?
I mean, if it's a roundabout question, I think one of the reasons why he's going into he's considered for the Naismith
because he came out of high school. That's
the impact he had immediately coming out of
impact.
Okay, so see now you asking me this, and I'm biased, and I'm real. I'm biased on this one because as a avid power forward watcher, when the years of the power forward were great, Amari Stoudemire was scary for several seasons.
See, and here's where I'm gonna kill you. Thank you for saying that. Amari Stoudemire didn't start at power forward. He started at center, where he had a night in and night out advantage. You couldn't put up 30 on guys who were slower than you. Sean Marion played the power forward on those teams, sir.
He switched. No. When he got it,
no. Look it up. He's all NBA, 5 all NBA teams, 4 second teams as the center.
At center.
All NBA first team as the center.
When he came in, I can't think if it was Norris. Who was not? I can't think about what's my guy's name. Big
Marbury.
Marbury was the point guard, but somebody else
was the center.
No, he
was His starting lineup.
Penny Hardaway, Stephon Marbury. I want to say Joe Johnson was on that team, but it was a very
he came a year later when they got Nash.
But the point was he did not start out at the 5 when they switched.
He played center his entire career.
When they got the small ball. That is when they inserted Sean Marion and Steve Nash was the catalyst to all of that, because it became all of a sudden that was that first year that Negroes had no clue what the pick and roll offense would look like, because he was so quick off of that roll, and he only had to be 1 step ahead of you to get to that rim. Only one. And he jumped off one leg half the time. Half.
But nigga Monto, sir. Sean Marion, completely like why? Why? He's the enigma. Was he a decent player? Sure. But for playing out of Tim Duncan played his entire career out of position. He was a Hall of Famer. Tim Duncan should have been playing center, but Pop knew he had a game in, game out advantage, kept a big next to him so he could keep dunking at power forward. And he took advantage of it every night. Bro, you're 6'10". Not ever did you ever average 10 rebounds. You let Sean Marion, 6'7" Sean Marion, average more rebounds than you. How?
I mean,
your nickname is Stat. What are stats?
Oh man, you judge him right there, man. I can't.
You have to do. You going to the Hall of Fame. It's all about judging.
Yeah, okay. Let's hold on. Let me make sure because I don't want to be wrong.
And I know it stands for standing tall and talented. It ain't damn sure don't stand. I would have rather had a star standing tall and rebounding. How about that, Mr. Stoudemire?
I got you. I found it because I knew I wasn't tripping.
So he started out as a power forward his first 2 seasons, and then he played the center. He played 15 seasons. He probably wasn't as productive, I would say, year 14 and 15 when he played with the Mavs and the Heat.
Yeah, because he was done. He was done so by then. I'm not even counting those years. These stats are from basically the bulk available games. You average 60 games a season. Again, Marion averaged 80. This is the guy right next to you in the trenches. Again, he ain't going to the Hall of Fame. Why should you?
And let me say this. So he said it correctly. As I look right now, Scott Williams was the starting center. I couldn't think of his name, but it was Scott Williams, Amari Stoudemire, Stephon Marbury, Penny Hardaway, and then they would rotate in guys like Casey Jacobson and freaking Joe Johnson. Come on, dog. Come on. I forgot all about Casey Jacobson and Sean Marion too. They rotated them in. But they, just like Jay said, when that following season, when they it was the big deal to get rid of Steve Nash, nobody thought it was Steve Nash, Dirk gonna play forever. Nope. Then that whole D'Antoni system of no defense was implemented compared to having who's the coach? Let's see, Frank Johnson. They got Frank up out of there. D'Antoni went 62-20, and it made it look crazy. And that is
but you still can't explain why this man is 16 can't grab 10 rebounds ever.
I just feel like these guys are starting to eclipse these people who, they get the older guys who weren't quite able to put these stats out due to the fact that modern medicine did not help these guys. These guys were blowing out their knees and that was it.
But Jay, I would agree with you. But the numbers I gave you, they're not career. I told you, they're not career. This is from a block of time when you were at your healthiest. I didn't go whole career. This is the jump.
I understand.
So that has no bearing. This is the meat of your existence.
I understand.
And you can't give me 10 boards as a center.
Listen, man, and I'm going to tell you my opinion. I'm just my opinion. And even though it's my opinion, it's a strong one. And I think at that point in his career, the fast break was driven by Steve Nash, and he had to go. It was go.
But it
started by a rebound.
Also, and
they had Sean Marion rebound.
Yeah, I kind of find it. I don't know. I kind of find it strange to argue a stat when they were on the same team. Like, if you wanted more rebounds, I think you need to talk to the Matrix as well. Like, why you so heavy on the boards? Because
no. You, sir, is on this show not too long ago destroying Russell Westbrook for being a rebound whore, Somebody getting out of the way. Tell Sean Marion to get out. Yeah, no, yeah. No, you blast Russell Westbrook all day, every day. Amari, get your ass down there. Tell Stoudemire, get the fuck out the way and give me a rebound.
So you're
6'10", 250 pounds.
Hey,
get out the way.
I hear what you're saying, but still,
this dude's 6'6", 225.
Yeah, but he played with the Sean Marion.
No, Sean Marion played with more heart. That's what it was.
He was the Matrix, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't argue that stat when he played with the guy that this is somebody who's deserving of. If he was playing with a scrub and all this person did was get rebounds, I don't know. Would he still be brought up in this conference? I don't know. I don't understand why we're having a conversation about why his rebounds was heavy, but then you're arguing against one guy who played with him. And the way Amari Stoudemire played, he tried to keep himself facing the basket. He tried to play a lot facing the basket. You know what I'm saying?
What's that to do with defensive rebounding? You're defending. You're defending the closest man to the basket. Sean Marion is guarding the perimeter. What do you mean you don't know he was the center?
Guarding the perimeter.
I don't know. I still find it like I'm banging my head against a wall, but arguing against a player that played on the same team as him. So it's like it's not like the rebounds went somewhere else. It went to a great player who was deserving, and they got the rebound. But I can see if you're arguing against somebody who wasn't that didn't share the court with him. That's where I'm at with it.
It's the effort
about somebody who shared the court with him.
Because it's the effort it takes. Like
I get it.
You're the man.
With him. This argument can't go so far because he shared the court with him.
Many players share the court with different people, and yet they still get their job accomplished.
But most of his games,
you're the star.
Most of his games with this person on the court. I'm not understanding. Argue with somebody. Give me somebody. I'm not saying you're not right. But still, wow,
everything, because it's everything.
With him
everything,
almost every game. That's weird.
Everything. Everything. The man average.
I'm gonna jump in. So this is what I'm gonna say.
I don't know.
The both of you make good points. Then this is what I'm gonna throw in there, okay? Because we stuck on Amari Stoudemire. The Amari Stoudemire that I think gets the notoriety is the Phoenix Amari Stoudemire, but the Amari Stoudemire that was changing the way that power forwards were looked at one point in time was the New York Amari Stoudemire that lasted
trash in New York.
But at the same time,
changed the way nothing.
Okay,
here's what I'm saying, Jay. Here's the point that I'm making.
But you talking about man can't get double-digit rebounds.
He didn't. His entire career. He didn't play with Sean Marion's whole career. He never did. 20 years of not getting 10 rebounds once.
They get you 8.
But that's aside the point. My point is Marion's numbers are better, period. You couldn't beat this man, but yet this man is not going to go to the Hall of Fame. How are you going to the Hall of Fame? That's my point.
Matrix is going to. Sean Marion's going to get in there.
He's not going to get in.
He's getting in. I think he'll get in. He was a really key part of that. He was a key
part. How are you getting in before this dude? And like you said, Marion has a ring. Mm-hmm. He was part of a championship team.
He was a cog in the wheel. That's correct. But
you're on the same course, same time, and this man put up better numbers than you, except getting baskets. Because that's all you were worth. And thank you, Steve Nash. Because when Steve Nash didn't play in Phoenix, Amari Stoudemire's average somehow dropped under 20 points.
Listen, it was a tandem, and when the tandem was not together, which tandem means two, it changed. Anyway, to the other players in this on this thing, because we get locked in. So as I see here, one of the most forgotten about stat lines, in my opinion, is oftentimes Dwight Howard's crazy. I think I want to say it was the 2009-2010 season where they almost would have won the NBA championship, but and they were playing a brand of basketball which is considerably mirrored by what is happening today in the NBA, except for it's inside out instead of outside in. And of course, on that team, we had players like Jameer Nelson, Rashard Lewis, Michael Pietras, for a short period of time. I can't think of my guy's name. It just eclipsed me, but on and on and on. There were nothing but 3-point shooters around Dwight Howard, and when you began to Dwight Howard, and play him with a double team, he began to pass the ball to the perimeter, and they would have to knock down shots. This is where
2009, by the way.
yeah, there we go. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, he doesn't get enough respect in the league for what he was able to accomplish when they put the weight of a franchise on a young player's shoulders. Dwight Howard stepped up to the plate and literally, I don't want to like have no weird analogy and say like he knocked the ball out the park, but you know what I'm saying? Like he did really well. He did. Excuse me. Dwight Howard did really, really well. And then at the time, he was like a model citizen. And then, on top of that, the dunk contest wins where, he dunking on 12-foot rims. That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? The Superman cape come out. This is when the allure of the dunk contest kind of transformed as well. So, I mean, and then, on what would be considered the twilight of many players' careers, he goes to LA during COVID and is one of the key pieces to locking up a younger Nikola Jokic at that time to help the Lakers win a championship. And I feel like he got so much hate for being, the number one player picked in the draft, going through what he went through, playing with Kobe, playing in Houston, back problems, back surgery, crying. And he got right on that camera in that locker room with that trophy, and he cried and told everybody, don't give up on your dream. And then now and of course, we don't got to go into his personal life, but his personal life also became a public spot for everybody to kind of mire and wink at. And I'm not going to lie to you, I watched Joe Budden's podcast. Joe Budden reading those transcripts is a whole nother level of, whatever you want to call it. But let's take that personal stuff out of the mix and just stick to basketball. Dwight Howard was definitely should have been included on that top 75 list that he was excluded on. There's a center that didn't belong that they could have put him in my opinion. So anyway, we talked about Amari Stoudemire. There are two other players we got to talk about. Marcus Gasol, three. Marcus Gasol, Dwight Howard, and Melo. With those three, which one are we looking at for sure as a shoe-in for the Naismith Hall of Fame, guys?
Hey, Jake.
Oh, well, I'll just go ahead. I'll kick some stats out.
My fault.
So yeah, first off, we got Carmelo Anthony, man, 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, NBA 75th anniversary, 2012, 2013 scoring champ, 2003, 2004 All-Rookie team, and then crazy numbers from Denver to New York to Oklahoma City to Houston, where he, of course, became somewhat of a nuisance, to Portland, to where he obviously didn't necessarily want to be, and then to LA, where he ended the career. When we look at the longevity of Carmelo Anthony being a bucket getter, a pure bucket getter, and then the game changing from the inside out game to the outside in game, Carmelo went from being the number one elbow down post player that we all remember him for. I'm talking about spin move, jab step, up fake, fall away jumpers. Like the bag of a young Carmelo Anthony was crazy, especially in those years when he was playing with the likes of Allen Iverson and J.R. Smith and Kenyon Martin. So when we think of Carmelo Anthony, for instance, gentlemen, we might as well go ahead and put the stamp on it right now. What y'all think? Oh, Jay, you muted, bro. There you go.
I was saying why not? I was nodding my head. You can hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
I mean, why not, man? I mean, it's these lists are kind of getting a little watered down, and I hate to take it back to Sean Marion, but My whole question was gonna be, y'all see that he's on the ballot again, right? And yeah, Carmelo was deserving, but I mean, why not put Sean Marion? But
Hey,
Carmelo
you
deserving.
got,
You not you're good, but it ain't gonna happen.
You think so?
he gonna
I
get
don't
in
think
there.
so. I don't think he will.
Right now, if not right now, he's gonna get in.
I
He's going.
guys that got in, and I don't think been like considered like role players. Like
Yeah.
these guys, and I really think again, I think it contributes to a lot of these guys are putting more time in to be able to put the stats in. A lot of them aren't healthy all the time, but we talking about 15, 16, 17 to 20-year careers or better, and like these people are, most of them are actually taking advantage of this time and showing Hall of Fame.
Listen, it's a way to get it done, and I think that the longevity in which that you speak of is oftentimes a hindrance on some of these careers because then you remember how long they were playing, and then you go, recency bias sets in, and you go, well, he was just sitting on the bench, he didn't get no PT, he wasn't playing on this team. Just kind of similar to what you said about Amari Stoudemire, he wasn't playing on that Heat bench. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like saying, yeah, I remember Tracy McGrady sitting around for that Spurs ring that they didn't get. You know what I mean? It sucks, but playing for a long period of time, seeing players go into the twilights of their career can also hinder voters or especially, this microwave generation we got right now where, what have you done for me lately turns into what have you done the last time I refreshed my page. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
But
so
it's like the visual of the work. Because here and Jay, here's like why I'm more frustrated at Amari. Like when I think of watching Amari, like there was nothing Hall of Fame about him. It was like we made the statement like he changed the game for power. How? He didn't do anything more than the KG than a Duncan. He was like the lower level to those guys. But like Dwight, to me, Dwight Howard underachieved. But I can respect his entry into the Hall of Fame because he maximized what he did do well. He was a defender. Dude, to me, he should have been at least 25 and 10 to 15 every night. He wasn't. He was an 18 point per game scorer. To me, that was underachieving for his physical ability and what he could have been. He never learned to go to post move. Never did a lot of stuff. But I can respect him going to the Hall because he was a defender and he maximized that. He's what? Defensive player of the year, 50 million times, led the league in the rebounds, and like he did other things to qualify himself or to take it to the next level. So like I can respect that. Like guys like Stoudemire to me just never did that. So like I bring up Stoudemire because you asked the question what surprised me most, and it would be him. Even Mark Gasol to a different little lesser degree. It's name recognition right now. I think of all the sports Hall of Fames, NBA might have the biggest problem of being Hall of Very Good and not Hall of Fame. And if we're gonna do that, let's just call it something else. Let's just call it a celebration of basketball because it's a lot of name recognition that go before guys actually look like Hall of Famers.
They they need to put in the Hall of Fame off that team, yo.
They put off which team? The Phoenix team?
Yeah.
Who?
Barbosa, the Brazilian blur.
first of all, Barbosa, the original player hater for stealing Steve Nash's wife.
Hey, he's the blur, man. That's what I
He
mean.
was a blur. He was a blur in Steve Nash's bedroom. Okay. And then to come to find
man.
out the child actually was Jason Richardson's. Okay, it's a crazy situation that happened in Phoenix. And then once that happened, everybody had to go. The team was never the same. But it all started off with Leandro Barbosa. Let's talk about this real quick. Just for Dwight Howard. Just for Dwight Howard, right?
Mm-hmm.
The team included JJ Redick, right? young JJ, Hito Turkoglu, Jameer Nelson, T. Luda coach, Rashard Lewis, a young Courtney Lee. I used to like Courtney Lee.
Oh, you're talking about the Magic team.
Yeah, Marcin Gortat, Brian Cook, Keith Bogans, and Skip to my MF and Lou, dog. Like,
Yeah.
team was made up to do a lot of things, but it was not made up for anything to be done
It
on
wasn't made to guard Kobe.
It wasn't made to guard anybody. It was made to force people to Dwight Howard. That was it.
Yeah.
It was made for me to play just enough defense for you to think you can get by me and run into Dwight Howard. That was it. That was all that team was for.
Courtney Lee's the reason why they lost.
Courtney Lee, yes.
Nah, they lost because they just weren't good enough. They shouldn't have got by us in the conference finals.
Oh boy. Look. Courtney Lee is the reason why they lost that finals, man. There's no when they put
4-1.
They had no answer for him, man.
None.
They had no answer for him, and they went and got Vince the next season or whenever, But Courtney Lee was the weak link, man. I watched those possessions, man. It was terrible, man. Courtney Lee
in the bright lights. Courtney Lee was not that one.
If you put a like viable option out there on defense, man, it would have been a better. They probably lost 4-2, 4-3. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that, but damn, man, CourtneyLee.
He's not the reason.
Possessions where I was like, damn, dog. And then they put Petrus in there. And it's like he struggles, he struggles.
He just couldn't do nothing but play defense. That was it.
Never play defense, and that's what hurt. They put Courtney in for offense, and he couldn't guard Kobe, man, save his life. And I mean, like literally, that man would have died if he had to go out there and play for his life.
Yeah, but that's not why they lost the series. They were losing. You could have put Pete. They still losing the series. Like, he's not the reason. They shouldn't have been there. They weren't good enough. They only won the game that they won because they literally set the NBA record for 3-point shooting in the NBA final. They shot like 62% in that game they won. So
it wasn't just
Courtney Lee, man. I'm telling you,
Mm.
they shouldn't have been there in the first place. They shouldn't have got by us. We played it wrong. We should have not started Ben Wallace. We should have started Joe Smith to go small ball with them and run with them. But Mike Brown didn't know what the hell he was doing. And it cost us a Kobe LeBron finals.
It cost. It definitely cost. It disappointed all of us. But again, Courtney Lee disappointed me, terribly. Like, damn, dog, do something, bro. Dude, I've never seen nothing like it. I've never seen it that went that terrible for someone.
It truly did hurt, to be real. Jay is right. It hurt to see Courtney Lee out there, and he was good during the regular season, but to see him out there in bright lights, he was not. He wasn't hitting on nothing. But we ain't gonna talk. We done already stalled on Hall of Fame nods and shout out to the Matrix, dog. Listen before we continue on. All time dopest watching the Rucker when YouTube first started coming out, and you can watch it on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Go look up that Sean Marion. Forget not even Sean Marion. Go look up that Matrix in the Rucker game. Okay, go look up that Matrix in the Rucker game and see how he put it on them boys. Pause. Okay. Let's continue on, man. So we're gonna keep it moving. Y'all know what it is. We're getting closer to the top of that first hour. Yes, your boy KWhit, man. Your mama's #1 draft pick. This is In the Hoop. We are making a transition, and we will talk about that towards the end of the show. We got Jay the MIC right there. We got Audible Bobby G. We appreciate y'all for staying in the building and making sure, man, like, share, and subscribe. You know how we do, boys. We got to get to that fast break and get it running. So I hope everybody got their shoes on because we're going to sprint through this one, okay? All right. So this past week on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, we got to see the championship game in Vegas for the in-season tournament. Bucket. The Bucks defeat the OKC Thunder in the Emirates Cup Finals. Now, we had a lot of predictions. I think we pretty much all was wrong. I think we all wanted the Rockets to come out of the West. We pretty much all figured out that the Bucks were going to come out of the first bracket. And I think for once, and I know Jay doesn't want to say it, but I think they're coming together with the whole plan right now with Doc Rivers and that guy that used to play in Portland, Jay. I think it's panning out a little bit right now. As we look at, and I got the stats right here. As we look at what took place with the Bucks and OKC Thunder, I feel like what's a good word for it? I feel like the tenure, like the prestige of the Bucks came out, and I don't want to call it like wet behind the ears or the uneducated, the uncultured, like the part about the OKC Thunder being young. It's a bunch of words, you know what I'm saying? All the words, they sound really negative, but I don't want to say them. You know what I'm saying? I think that is what played into it. Even though it was for the in-season tournament, the Emirates Cup, I think that the Bucks put their best effort forward. They played some of their best defense, and then the OKC Thunder, who in any other instance besides playing the Cavs the other day or tonight, they were inexperienced. What do you guys look at it as we talk about the Bucks and the OKC Thunder winning or the Bucks winning the in-season tournament?
The hair shake. No bueno, no good.
No good. I don't think Jay wants to talk about the play of certain players on the Bucks, man. I think that's what.
I mean, what happened to him?
Oh,
So,
he's still upset about that guy. I'll take it, man. Basically, it was a good game, and then in the second half, the Bucks just made it ugly. They uglied it up, and Giannis did Giannis things. What did he finish? What does that mean? Giannis took the ball and straight down the lane, like 26-19. Says it all. We would never see those numbers from Mark Stoudemire. That's neither here nor there.
What?
Dame had, he came out to play, but him and Shea that kind of canceled each other. Basically, just came down to OKC not having an answer for Giannis. I don't want to belittle OKC. It's just their kryptonite was shown. And if the Western Conference teams are paying attention, if you want to get when it comes post All-Star game and crunch time playoff season, hit them inside. Hardenstein might not be enough. Hit them inside, and that's what the Bucks did. For the Bucks, this is very necessary. We say that, I know a lot of people think the in-season tournament is nothing, but remember, like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks into the season, this is the worst team in the NBA. So for them to get out of that funk and come together and take this tournament down, they're letting people know they still have something in the tank and they're not done, and they can continue to fight for the rest of the season. So, I mean, they could be a dangerous out come playoff time. So, I definitely wouldn't. I mean, they got to make a move though. Something's got to be done. They got to. I know I've heard rumors that Bobby Portis may be on the block. Maybe Middleton could be had, but they definitely got to make a move. You got to do something. Depending on the move that they make, just keep your eyes on Milwaukee, man.
Milwaukee. I mean, there's a name I'm gonna throw out there shortly, but we are going to continue, man. Jay, man, I know you don't really want to. I know you don't really want to. Just tell me what you saw, man. Even if you want to talk about OKC, man. Come on, what's good?
I mean, Hartenstein, man, he's proven to be a great pickup. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's what he put up, like 18 rebounds tonight.
Tonight, yeah, but against the Bucks it was 12. He got out rebounded by Giannis 19-12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, in this game, man, Like people are just jacking just to, you know, throwing up threes, man. Like just throwing them up. So it's like, I don't know, man. He plays the bully ball, like you
Fair.
said, Giannis doing Giannis things, the other guy, he's playing, he's doing what he can. He's managing, you know, damaged goods, but he's managing. Um, as far as the Bucks, man, I just think at the end of the day, they're gonna be let down due to the fact that I think they kind of remind me of they remind me a lot of the Pistons. I'm not Lord, the Pistons, Lord, the Celtics.
Current
And
Celtics.
yeah, the current Celtics.
Okay.
Because they both have similarities where they kind of depend on um they depend on a center to kind of help the offense run when they run through Lopez a little bit. They have different like forms where they can take shape as far as like the sets that they run. Like I said, they can put Giannis out there to do what he does. Dame can take over a lot of one-on-one ball from time to time. Even Portis gets his little instances where they're playing one-on-one ball a lot. I don't trust their offense and I don't trust their coach. I don't.
Damn.
Um, I
I
don't
don't trust
trust. I don't trust. Man, I'm just be honest. I'm not. Look, like Dame is a guy, right? He's a guy. I just really feel like 82 game season is a bit much for him. We're gonna have to see in the playoffs, man. Like I want to see where they at All-Star break. I want to see where they at going into April, going into late March. I want to see where they at health wise, because that's a team that has not shown me that they can make it through a season every season. Every season is the same thing. Giannis is out.
Fair.
He going into the playoffs and trying to figure it out. And how long is he gonna be out? It seems like that's becoming the thing with them. Um, I wanna give them some time, but as far as the Thunder, I mean, you gotta look at it. Still young season, even with both teams. We're looking at two teams who can still make some moves. I
Hmm.
don't think the Bucks are as flexible. We already know that the Thunder is flexible. By all means, I'm pretty sure they're willing to do a deal with anybody and able to.
Especially
So
if they got some draft picks involved.
yeah, so I think they have better their I guess projection looks a lot better than the Bucks to me. Even in the East, the Thunder look better off than the Bucks. So, you know, we'll see. But I'm not sold on the Bucks, man. And it ain't because they took our damaged point guard and said that, hey, we can
Wow.
win with you. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? I'm just being honest, man. I'm not sitting here trying to like poo-poo on them or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But they really took him and was like, okay, he can. You see how it ended with us, and they said, okay, we can polish all that up, and we can make a champion. And all right, good luck. That's that.
Man.
Don't talk about it.
Well, of course, Jay, you taking one man's trash is another man's treasure as a part of what I think is the
You can't hold all that weight though.
but it's the analogy that I have to use for both teams in this instance where of course Dame is of course, one of, if not the best Portland Trailblazer ever. And then, in the similar aspect on the other side with the Oklahoma City Thunder, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is one of, if not the best scorer in the league, but he's come from someplace where they decided to give him up for draft picks. This is I think the dichotomy of the league, where it's two sides of every coin. You know what I mean? Right now, the Bucks have somehow figured a way to I think they're mired in mediocrity. Whereas everybody knows what Giannis is. They got Dame out there. It's unfortunate that Charleston's own Chris Middleton is coming off an injury or has been injury prone the last two seasons when he was in my opinion, during their championship run, the second best player on the team, and he was electric that during that championship run. Although all the eyes were on Giannis because he's Giannis, you know. And then let's look at the OKC Thunder. I think y'all brought it up. The inexperience, and I couldn't get the words out. There was so many other words that would come to mind, but the inexperience of the OKC Thunder, I think, is what played into how they were taken advantage of. Not only were they outplayed by a team that's made to beat them, but I don't think they put forth the best effort. And to me, even if we threw Chet Holmgren out there, I don't know how much Chet Holmgren would have done in that instance, because what they want to do, and they will do once it's healthy, they will have a 5-man lineup, which will probably include Hartenstein at the 5 and Chet somewhere roaming around the perimeter doing this new aged positionless basketball thing that people like to do. I'm excited to see it. Yes, don't get it twisted, but is it going to beat the better teams? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks of new in the Western Conference? It's kind of funny right now. How many power forwards and centers can you have around the perimeter? We don't know yet. But right now in the West, you're gonna have Jokic. You want to have Chet out there with Jokic. You don't want to have Chet in the paint with Jokic. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got a guy like Hartenstein who could take a beating in the post, possibly. You got 4 fouls, give them all up, and then Chet Holmgren could possibly play for the last quarter and a half guarding the best post player. But once again, when we focus on just the Bucks in this instance, I gotta give him a shout out. I gotta give him a shout out. It's weird. I don't necessarily like how it came about. Bobby, you said it. The second half, they ran away with it. And I think that's from experience, knowing and know-how to pretty much put the ball in the best player on the court's hands. And if we got to, and what'd you say? Amari Stoudemire couldn't get the rebound. Giannis got the rebound and ran the fast break somehow. And did it on multiple occasions. So, but kudos to the Bucks and the OKC Thunder. Now, something I wanted to bring up, right? And I put it on the lineup for you guys. Assistant coach, newly hired assistant coach for the Bucks, ex-Lakers head coach Darvin Ham, stopped everybody in the locker room and told them, hey, don't y'all pop that champagne, because we did, and look what happened to us. Do you think that is going to be the new omen for teams such as the Bucks who have higher aspirations, such as the NBA championship? Or is that just the thing? Like them young teams gonna pop that champagne. The Pacers would have won it, they would have popped that champagne. Just the Pacers don't win nothing. OKC would have won it, they would have popped that champagne. The OKC do everything together. Do you think that it's just a fad for veteran teams are going to follow that going forward, or was that just the thing because Darvin Ham got fired from the Lakers?
It's a thing for morons. Like, you saying that like anybody picked the Lakers to win the championship last season.
Wow.
Nobody picked the Lakers to win anything. So it wasn't a bad omen. Your season ended exactly how 9 out of 10 people expected it to end. Just like this season, I don't think anybody put on their bingo card for the Milwaukee Bucks to win the championship who's not a Milwaukee Bucks fan. So it's not an omen. Again, I go back, bro. 2 weeks ago, you were the worst team in the NBA. Celebrate not being the worst team in the NBA right now. Pop some champagne. Maybe that reinvigorates you. The Dames never celebrated anything.
Anything.
Let them. Hey,
you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say
like get some practice. Like I remember, what was the Warriors did something, or maybe it's the last time they won the championship. And I think
they didn't touch the Western Conference trophy.
No, they did something. It was something they were celebrating something, And Draymond Green might have been the last good interaction he had with Jordan Poole. He said he wasn't used to popping bottle because he couldn't get the bottle open. But no, it was Milwaukee. They did something, and somebody was talking to Dame. No, he was celebrating something. Maybe was it in the Olympics? Was it the Olympics? Dame was celebrating something, and somebody took a bottle from him and said he's not used to winning, because he can pop the bottles better. Either way, yeah, get some experience in that department. Feel good about themselves. Like real. We talked about the other teams. It would be good for them to win, like OKC. Practice winning. Go out and try to win something. For the Rockets, same thing. For the Cavs, it would have been the same thing. They didn't make it that far. Like we see how this propelled the Pacers last season. Yeah, man, Darvin, you're a moron, dude. That's why you got fired. Like you tell these guys don't appreciate your accomplishment. Appreciate your accomplishment. Like this ain't promise. What if somebody goes down and their season is over, and that's the last thing that they have for the season? You don't tell me to sully that moment. And get out of here. Maybe Darvin should have celebrated breaking that backboard a little bit more. You know what I mean? Dude, the situation played out different, but Big Ron, go, bro, go to sleep. So I said, go to sleep.
Jay, man, your thoughts on not popping the champagne after winning the in-season tournament, man? Is it a fluke? Is it a bad omen? Is it just for the what are we thinking, bro? Oh, is Jay?
I think he's broken.
There we go.
I was frozen that whole time, right?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was frozen that whole time, man.
Did you hear anything?
Nah, I was frozen just hearing the sound effect for like the whole time y'all was talking. That was weird.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're sorry, Jay.
Yeah.
We were talking about the. I thought that was the face you want to make, but we were talking about
I was over here pressing buttons, man, and yeah, it went wrong. I just like, damn, did I press that? I really just pressed that. But yeah, my fault.
Yeah, we were talking about
too bad. I ain't saying it again.
Champagne and not popping champagne at the in-season tournament. Darvin Ham stopped the Bucks from popping the champagne on the in-season tournament and said, look what happened to us last season after we popped that.
I heard that. I don't know where I left you. But yeah, I mean, hey, better to know from experience for sure. What Big Ron says we were talking about Darvin. Oh, thank you, Ron. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, he knows from experience, but think they need to dig a little bit deeper than that. I mean, it's just not that simple. It's easy for him to say, let's get to the playoffs, and then you can probably say, or let's see where we are at the end of the season and see if that holds any type of weight. It's easy for him to say that. I mean, he failed.
And I mean, like, does he not like free stuff? The NBA paid for that champagne, but you better what are you doing?
Yeah, drink up.
Drink it while you can, Yeah, it's an anomaly to me. It's an anomaly to me, but somehow, some way, I think that they're just the stigma of what it represents, and it not being the NBA championship, the Larry O'Brien trophy. I think that's like I'm telling you, and that's a better. I think it's a veteran move. Is my point. I think it's a veteran move. When the younger teams start winning the NBA Cup, if it was the Rockets. Oh man, they was popping that champagne. They didn't give a damn what trophy it was. You know what I'm saying? If it was Atlanta, Atlanta in LA, and Usher doing his residency out there. Come on, man, get out of here. It would have been crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I think because it's a veteran laden team who without minus Dame, have won a championship, they were going, let's not lose our hunger. Let's not, forget what we're really here for. I think that was what it was. But Darvin Ham put that out there to say, hey, look at what happened to us. We lost our hunger after this. But that's why we call it a fast break, boys. So let's keep it moving. Bow, splashback. Klay Thompson returns home for his second game back in Golden State. And somehow, some way, we get a record-setting 48 three-pointers made in a Mavs win. Now, I had to read that twice, and I actually had to go look at the stat line because I was flipping through the NBA networks during that time, and I was like, it was so close that I thought maybe I was tripping, but all of a sudden when you could look at the stats on the side of the TV now, I was like, ain't no way there's that many 3-pointers made. Like, there's no way that this game got that many three. And yes, boy, let me tell you something. This was one for the ages. But I think when we last spoke about Klay Thompson and Luka and the Mavericks, and we talked about them kind of gelling, and I think Jay was the one that was like, just wait till the second game he goes back to Golden State. And Jay, I think he was exactly right. The stat lines are crazy, of course. When we see that somehow, some way, we got Mavs players going off, we got Golden State looking crazy, but in the end, we're looking at plus minuses of astronomical numbers because Jonathan Kuminga, your guy, Jay, Jonathan Kuminga out here dropping a smooth 20 and 6 assists. How? Well, you know what I'm saying? Andrew Wiggins, 29, Steph, 26, Buddy Hield, 9. You know what I'm saying? Kevon Looney out here. And then Uncle Draymond dropped 21. This was one of those games where very little defense was the conference concentration. But then you look at the Bucks, not the Bucks, but the Mavs players, Luka, 45, Klay with 29, Kyrie with 21, 13, 10 by Daniel Gafford. He ain't got nothing but putbacks and dunks. And then, of course, you got to look at the threes. Luka had 6, Klay had 7, Kyrie had 1. Then you go to the Golden State Warriors. Steph with 7 of 13, pretty much basically 50 more than 50%. Buddy Hield with a nice 3 of 8. Andrew Wiggins 5 of 9 from 3. Like, this was a rain on your parade type of game. Even Uncle Draymond got 5 of 9. Like, somehow, some way, we saw this coming. But do you think this was just because it was the Mavericks versus Golden State, or is this the coming of age of the new age Mavericks with the second coming of Klay Thompson?
The J handshake is crazy.
You don't know? All right, yeah, Bobby, man. Was this just because they were back at Golden State and they had to put on because of the loss that they took, or is this the new age? And because we midway through the season almost now. Feels like is this the new age of Mavericks basketball where this is gonna be the regular?
No, it's not the new age of Mavericks. It's just basketball as it is, man. We're hoisting up there. It took 95 3-pointers in this game. 95 3-pointers. I mean, 48 makes.
That's ridiculous.
It's like the NFL, man. The NFL is a pass happy league, but just like the NFL, when it comes to playoff time and time to hoist that trophy, two things come into play: defense and running the football. It's like in the NBA when we come playoff time. I don't think you're gonna see a lot of 93-point games. Or let me get not 93 pointers taken in the game. That game's gonna slow down. The defense is gonna try and take away what you do best. You're gonna run guys off the line. But for the regular season, yeah, we can see guys just running down, jacking up shots. It's like everybody in the NBA has a green light. So yeah, you're gonna have your hot nights and you're gonna have your cold nights. What was it? A couple days before that, it was an NBA record for most missed 3-pointers in a game. There were like 90 or 3-point misses. It was crazy. So, that's where we are with basketball right now.
Damn. I'm sitting here looking at some bad news for somebody. Who's your daddy? HOOSIER, daddy. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
Indiana won that.
At this point, I don't know. I don't know who's winning right now. But yeah, but they were losing. Last time I checked, 27. Oh no, 17-3. Yeah, but um, I I refuse to talk about the Warriors right now in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. I mean, or Clay going back to ridiculous, man. Because I can't stop thinking about them like getting like stomped out and what Draymond the effort that he put forward on the court. Um -42 um plus minus. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of unfazed. It does not move me anything about like Clay. Clay is a big part of Clay is a big part of Christmas lights just cut off like on, and I was just like, wait a minute, what's going on? It's my first time seeing them cut off. I'm sorry. But yeah, no man, like again, like Clay Thompson, man, is great where he's I'm just glad he's out there showing that, he can still chuck threes, man. Um, we'll see that basically, and seriously, we will see, how this fares the Mavericks in the playoffs. Because I really think, all in all, they needed a lot more help than a Clay Thompson. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out for him, man. I just think I'm not gonna say meaningless, but that wasn't the type of help I was talking about when the Mavs needed help. Let's just let them.
Crazy, man. And
Oh,
somehow, some way, I feel as though they burned themselves out because the next big thing that happened, and I think Jay brought it up, was this 93 to 144 points. How did all of a sudden we get this type of magic happening with the Golden State Warriors, man? I think that their time to begin to think about the end of the Steph Curry era is gonna come up, and the trade deadline is gonna happen. It's coming up. There's Christmas. We are, and I think we talked about it maybe a couple episodes ago. Christmas games show you who's gonna be making trades possible, and I think we got to get into that quick. Somewhere in there, possibly the Golden State Warriors may start being buyers, and we might start to see some of these players move around a little bit, man, because Golden State always wants to compete. They don't want to have Steph Curry go out on the bottom. They want to see him go out, swinging or shooting, rather. They're going to keep Uncle Draymond until Uncle Draymond can't play anymore, or he ain't going to be worth nothing.
that day is past, yo.
So it's sad. But moving on, because this is the fast break, we're gonna talk about, on a happier note, when you go back home and you get a video montage and people respect you for being the player you were when you was at a certain place. You get a little bit of love, and you get love in the Twin City, just like Big Cat when he goes back. That's right, Karl Anthony Towns' first game back in Minnesota since his trade to the New York Knickerbockers. Now, I don't know if y'all know, if you've been living under a rock, but the New York Knicks traded Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo for Karl Anthony Towns in the middle of the night. And Karl Anthony Towns had no clue that he was being traded. And, I feel like he embraced New York, and the New York embraced him. And it's been nothing but love for Karl Anthony Towns since he's been a New York Knick. And I'm happy for him. But of course, everybody's got to go home. You got to go back one time. We saw what happened with Clay. Clay didn't look like himself for a little while, but then all of a sudden it turned into something. Now the same thing has happened to our good friend Karl Anthony Towns. He has gone back to play in Minnesota one good time with his New York Knicks teammates, and he put on a show. So as we see here, Karl Anthony Towns, man, out here doing the dang on thing, leading in rebounds and in points with 32 points and 20 rebounds. And then somehow, some way, We get a 24 points from Julius Randle, 6 rebounds from Dante DiVincenzo, and 7 assists for Ant-Man. Don't even look like a regular stat line for him, but of course, things happen. When we see Karl Anthony Towns go home and see what the Knicks actually can do as a full-fledged roster, so to speak, because we always got to see them in parts, are we excited about the Knicks' future, or are we less excited about what's going on in Minnesota? That's the question. Knicks of Minnesota.
Ooh, yeah, I kind of feel bad for the way where they're headed in Minnesota. I really do. Because I think they kind of lost a bit of their integrity of what they were doing by trading away Karl Anthony Towns. But I'm more excited of where the Knicks can go in the East and moving forward than I am seeing how the Minnesota Timberwolves can fare. I It's more, I guess the Knicks are a more exciting team to watch just based off how exciting they were in the playoffs. Timberwolves kind of, I guess, traded away a bit of that magic. You know, I'm curious to see at the same time, though, I guess, how Julius Randle will fare with his new team. And trying to make a playoff push. But the Knicks are just, I guess, better TV right now. Unless Anthony Edwards is out here like going off, then it might switch.
Hey, you make a lot of sense with that one. And this was not a Karl Anthony Towns go off game. Bobby G, man, same question. We more excited about the Knicks or least excited about Minnesota and what's come since the trade?
Like this is dead heat. This is straight down the middle. I can't get excited about the Knicks because you got a 2K team, man. You're stacked. You should be winning. What am I excited about? You got 4 All-Stars in your starting lineup.
Right.
And for the Timberwolves, you were on the cusp of the NBA Finals and you traded your second best player for no reason whatsoever. So you basically just gave up on your star player who the NBA has decided to turn into the face of the NBA. You just screw him. We're just gonna let him do it by himself when he had you on the precipice of being in the NBA Finals. Like, what are you doing? So it's like it's hard to be either. You know what I mean? Like you expected, the Knicks got off to a slow start, but as we've seen historically, when you put a quote unquote super team together, it takes a little bit to get it going. And right now they're rolling. Everybody's comfortable in their roles. You still got some people that need to come back from injury, but they're comfortable and they're figuring it out. And Minnesota looks lost like we expected them to look lost after trading Karl Anthony Towns. Like, yeah, we expect a lot of Ant-Man, but Jesus, he can't carry the entire roster.
Right.
Like, he needs some help, man. Give him a spot. Like every weightlifter needs a spotter. You traded his spotter.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, man. I feel like this, and this is me. I feel like the Mavericks, not the Mavericks, but the Minnesota Brass felt like if they got rid of Karl Anthony Towns, then it would be the awakening of a player like what's my guy? Not Julius Randle, but Nas Reed. I feel like I feel like they took what they saw from Nas Reed last season when Cat was hurt in the playoffs and Nas Reed did really well. And they said, well, if he plays like this when Cat is out, then he could play like this without Cat. And then we could have a player who's really similar to Bobby Portis. I feel like he's very Bobby Portis-esque, but he's not Bobby Portis on a consistent basis. And I feel like they said, well, we can trade and get rid of him, and then we could have Nas Reed kind of fall into being, very similar to Karl Anthony Towns, but without demanding the ball, without needing the ball as much as we want to give it to, Ant-Man. And I said it earlier in one of our shows. The reason why we got such an influx of Ant-Man was for two reasons. And both of them got to do with John Morant. John Morant made a dumb decision. John Morant also was injured. So, and before that, you know what it was? Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving made a dumb decision. Kyrie Irving got on there and told everybody about not being vaccinated and the world was flat. You know, the NBA took Kyrie out and gave us John Morant. John Morant took himself out by hanging out with knuckleheads, and then we got inserted Anthony Edwards, and this in turn made the Minnesota Timberwolves and probably some of their brass go, you know what? We gotta take the other guy out, which is Karl Anthony Towns. And little do they know, or did they know, that Karl Anthony Towns would fit in well with Tom Thibodeau and the rest of the New York Knicks roster. So
got another one for you.
Yeah,
give them the real truth.
Uh-oh.
And this is a problem for the NBA. Something they thought that they thought they were fixing something, and they actually created a bigger problem.
Uh-oh.
The Minnesota Timberwolves owner basically said, "I don't want to pay for this team." That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
You got these new rules to the CBA where these guys are paying these super luxury tax penalties the higher and higher they get into these tiers. And what happens with these tiers, for people that don't know, once you hit tier 2, it becomes more difficult for you to make trades. See, they thought they were helping smaller market teams, and you're hurting smaller market teams because these owners aren't going to pay. They're going to cut salary so they can continue to keep a decent product so you can continue to buy tickets to come to these games. If you really want to help the small market teams, how about you give a cap relief to teams that retain their own players? Only penalize the free agent contracts. That would help the smaller market teams then compete. Just now you're making it more possible for guys, and I'll use the Cavs as an example. Right now, our core is drafted with Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. Jared Allen's not drafted, but he's been there a few years. So say once you use the bird scale. I give that. Use the bird scale for teams. If you're bringing in free agent, make that salary count for you getting to the penalty. But once that player has a certain amount of years with the team, take that penalty away so the team can now go out and get more talent. Because what you're going to run into now is, again, these small market teams aren't going to want to pay. And Oklahoma's going to hit it in a couple years.
Yeah,
like they're going to have 3 or 4 max players, and they're going to hit that tier 2. We've already seen what that organization did with one set when they had a super team the first time. Do you think they're going to keep them on now? No, they're going to end up trading Chet. They're going to end up trading Jalen Williams for nothing. So yeah, you got to fix this in the next CBA, man. Make it so these small market teams keep their talent and build to compete with the big money teams.
Shout out to the small market teams. J-Man, you in the same boat?
I mean, I'm a small market fan. So, hey, it's just a lot that goes into it. And I think, when you're trying to compete, a lot of this, it's just small market teams always get crossed up somehow. Somehow it's like they can't balance all of these heavy contracts. So like somebody has to go. But you got to be creative. And I agree with what Bobby's saying, but that's calling for these new age GMs to be creative, or these GMs to be creative with what they're doing. They were talking about Petrie today, and how he has been a great GM. That's the GM that you would want for your team, but how many championships has he won?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's becoming a bigger problem with these salaries, because these small market teams with the bigger the salary, these small market teams are gonna kind of be like, okay, well, shoot, he gonna have to go.
Yeah.
And every time they get a good team together, somebody's gonna have to he's gonna have to go. Somebody's gonna always have to be, the odd man out. And that's
Exactly.
just not what it's all about. it still puts them in a disadvantage. Just like Bobby was saying.
And what's going to happen is you're going to have that trickle down because you're going to have the big markets with the money who are not going to mind paying the tax if they can compete for titles.
Right.
And what is that going to trickle down to? Free agents to say, oh, I'll take the minimum to play for that team because they got all the talent. Like they're not going to take minimums to go to small market. Like nobody's going to take the vet minimum to go down to Orlando and play with Paolo Banchero. Nah, it's not. You're going to have to pay me a couple of million. But guess what? Hey, I'll take the vet minimum to go up there and play with Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges. Yeah, I'll take the vet minimum to come off the bench for 15 minutes for that squad. Yeah, I'll take the vet minimum. It's like, yeah, give him a chance, man. Look what happened to Philly. Oh, you got Paul George. Yeah, I'll take the vet minimum to go to Philadelphia and play with Maxey, Paul George, and B. Yeah, it would have turned out to be a bad decision. But, just look at because they have the money to put that together, that trickle down is going to hurt the league.
Man, y'all hit the nail on the head with that one. The trickle down effect that happens when you reach in that second apron. That's the new terminology for it. That second apron with these smaller market teams is being affected so much more crazily, which is why I think, just like you mentioned, right now OKC is okay because their draft picks are coming to fruition one after another. Not necessarily all at the same time, where they're going to have to pay them all at the same time, but they're definitely flourishing in the environment in which they can run off of smaller contracts, being that these are all young drafted players. Caruso, you don't got to pay him no big money. You know what I'm saying? Hartenstein, the Knicks had to get rid of Hartenstein because of the second apron, because he was going to demand a larger salary. There's ways that
no, they got rid of him. They knew they were going after Karl Anthony.
That's a possibility too, but they also knew that if it came time to it, in a year's time with the way he's playing, Hartenstein gonna need to get a check. This is technically a rental and a half year for OKC with Hartenstein. He's not gonna get a big check, but he's gonna get some money. You know what I'm saying? And he may have to leave OKC unless they figure out a way to get rid of some of their bench in order to pay him. You know what I mean? But it is what it is right now. It's working out fine because you ain't got Chet Holmgren. You need him. You know what I'm saying? He's essential. But at the same time, man, let's keep it moving. Like we said, this is the fast break, so we do like to have a couple of topics go on, and I'm gonna roll on, man. I think this one is a good one. And because we're getting to we're midway into the second hour, so let's go ahead and throw this one up there, man. Which division leader is likely not to finish the season on top? Now, this is one of those questions that we were going to discuss on Tuesday for Rec Room. Don't forget, everybody, if you're tuning in right now, Tuesdays is time for the Rec Room to take over. So Tuesday nights, about 9:30, we go in for the Rec Room Sports Show. We talk about everything sports because we go where they don't go. But right now we're going to basketball. So which division leaders are most likely not to finish on top this season? And let's take a quick look at it. I'm gonna bring up a couple things. And man, look, it's happening right before our eyes. The NBA is slowly changing, and we have to figure out a way to label the top teams without necessarily seeing the names. You know what I'm saying? Because right now there used to be a time in which we could go, okay, here's the Eastern Conference, here's the Western Conference. Let's put the Lakers here. Let's put let's say the old Bulls with Derrick Rose here, and we knew where everybody was going to be. It's kind of being shaken up right now. It's not necessarily the same, especially in these divisions. And let's take a quick look. So, guys, when we look at the division leaders let's start in the East. Where is a team that we can say, okay, I see you now, but when these playoffs start, these trades get to moving, they're not going to be where they are currently.
I would say the Southeast. Say Orlando in the Southeast. Probably the most fickle. I mean, you got Atlanta up and coming. Miami, if they get it together, they can be a real threat. And Orlando's had injury issues. They're also young, so inexperience could come into play. I think this right now. I think the Cavs just got off to such a good start. The Bucks are in too big of a hole. And I really don't see, even though the next Knicks are coming together, I think Boston can maintain that division. So just process elimination, I'd have to go Orlando.
Right. I can agree with you on that one. Jay, man, when we were looking at who's on top of the Eastern right now in the Eastern Conference, like we brought up, pretty much, we got to go we got to go Boston, Cleveland, Orlando, and which one of those three teams is not at the top of the playoff stand or of the division standings?
Go ahead, say it.
I feel like he's going to say somebody in particular. Go ahead, go for it, Jay.
I'm gonna go with Orlando.
Okay. I thought you was going to say.
I mean,
right
one of them. I mean, I don't. Honestly, I can't even go with Orlando, man. I'm sorry, I can't do it, man. I gotta say Cleveland, yo. I think Cleveland is gonna be that team that is always that one team that comes out of the blocks. Oh man, they're gonna win 60 games. Oh man, it's always that one team. And right now, it's out of the Celtics and the Cavs. I can't see anybody in the West who's, you know, that as far as that one team, it could be in the West. I guess when we get to the West or whatever. But right now, if we're saying the East, it's gonna be the Cavs.
Who's gonna catch them?
Hopefully the Pacers, because okay, so let me tell you, here's
Bing,
the
bing,
deal.
bing.
No, here's the deal. I think the Bucks can do enough to catch. I think contest. But when it gets to the playoffs, again, like I said, late in the season, I want to see where their health. If their health is up there, then Cleveland might be in a little trouble. Um, but when it gets to the playoffs, I just don't trust the Bucks. Um, as far as Doc Rivers is concerned, and again, it's his own health, like the health of Giannis and Dame and everybody else who Middleton. When you're talking about the nucleus, we'll see. Based on the nucleus, that's not a good formula. It's not. You're yeah, you won a cup. Great. You won a cup. A game. It's time to get into these playoffs. Is this gonna be the same team that we watched in the cup? You know what I mean? Which I right now I'm gonna say I doubt it. But that team that right now it's the Cavs. Right now it's the Cavs.
Do you realize that team you're talking about that won that cup? They came into Cleveland tonight. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know they lost by 30?
Wow.
Hey, it happens. You gotta
Recency
keep it
bias.
up.
Did you know that team that you're talking about, Cashin, they came into Cleveland 2 weeks ago and lost by 20?
Recency bias. It's crazy.
It's not reason. No, this so we're 3-0. We've already won the season series against the Bucks. 3-0 against them already.
It's tough, man.
We're 6-0 in the division.
I want to see everybody stay healthy, but it's always a team that comes out of the blocks. And
We've not been healthy all season. Our starting small forward his first game was tonight.
I'm saying I understand what
so
you're
we've
saying.
been unhealthy. What people don't know, we've been unhealthy all season.
Nah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
health is health. What do you mean?
Nah, the people who Okay, so we're gonna say that who's the 11th, 10th man on the bench of the Milwaukee Bucks? Are we gonna be concerned with him being healthy?
Do the
Mm.
Milwaukee Bucks go 11 deep on a regular basis? If they do, then the answer would be
They
yes. If they
can't.
don't,
They
then no.
can't. They can't. And that's what I'm saying. Like there's always a team. There's always a team that comes out of the blocks. Like I think this team could also be out of the West. You know, Allen don't want to hear it, but you know, we always have a team that wins 60 games that does not make it.
Hey
But
man, so we about
you're
to
talking
go.
about in the playoffs, so this is a regular season
Yeah,
question.
right now,
Yeah,
regular
it
season, right?
is. But as a regular season, there's always that regular season team that won 60 games in what? In what?
Yeah, but the
In
question
preseason?
is the
In the off
team that
season?
leading their division right now going to not win the division in the regular
Cavs,
season? That's the
Cavs,
question.
Cavs.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna just throw it out there, and I'm going to also say the Miami Heat because right now they're in a bit of a I mean not the Miami Heat, but the Orlando Magic. They're in a bit of a log jam. They're in a bit of a log jam where the Heat I think are going to make the decision to do something with Jimmy Butler, and they're not going to catch up. But the Atlanta Hawks right now looking real spunky for an inexperienced team. I feel like they're so young that they don't know that they're not as good as they think they are, and they are possibly going to catch up with the Orlando Magic because right now, without Blankera, without the other Wagner brother, right now, and they both got oblique injuries. Anything that that because I had to look it up. I actually was looking to see what was going on with Orlando. As I was thinking about my answers for tonight, I didn't know that oblique injury is really a baseball injury, and it's one that normally leaves baseball players out for more than half of the season. Y'all know baseball seasons are forever. You know what I'm saying? So for them to have an injury that is really considered a baseball injury, two of them the same thing. Everything is with your and I don't, if y'all ever do any kinesiology, that's right, how the practice of how your body moves, you know that your core is one of the most important pieces of your body. Everything's connected. How you breathe, how you bend over, how you run, turn left, right. All of that is all connected with your core. So to have an oblique injury and be physical like both players are, Blank Carroll and Mo Wagner. You know what I'm saying? That's it's kind of difficult to say that they can come back and make a concerted push to keep them atop of the standings. So definitely, I want to throw Orlando out there as my choice. Now, as we go to the East, the West. Let's go ahead and look at it. So the division leads right now. In the Northwest Division, we got OKC. Pacific Division, we got the Clippers. Hold on. And in the Southwest Division, we got the Memphis Grizzlies. Whoa. I'm almost willing to take this and shake it up like a boggle board my damn self and say that none of them are going to make it. But guys, let's start off with Jason. He finished the last one. Who's not going to finish the top of the standings in the Western Conference, bro?
I mean, it's the West, so there's so many different candidates. I mean, you can pretty much go through every division and say that the division winner or the division leader is not going to be up at top. You want to give the Lakers a chance due to the fact they're in striking distance, due to the season series as well with other teams. You know, it might be closer than we think, other than right there at the bottom or under the Clippers. Um, with the Grizzlies, we'll see. There are like three teams in striking distance in the division. Outside of the Pelicans, well, that's terrible, man. Yeah, that's tough to say in the West, man. But I would go with Clippers playing good ball, man. I want to say the Clippers, man, but dang, like I gotta say the Thunder.
Thunder.
You would, yeah. I would definitely say the Thunder, and I'm just giving the Nuggets the benefit of a doubt of being a champion. Um, and putting the clamps down, probably going on a nice little winning streak. You know, I'm not saying I'm not no shots here. I'm serious. Like I take it very heavy when I see a team go on 15, 16 game winning streaks at the end of the season, let alone the beginning of the season where they might go on another one. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the season, you got a team that's hot. You know, it's we'll see. I think the Nuggets can be one of those teams that can, somehow get on fire. I don't see how with the depth being a little different than it's been in the past, but I don't know, man. The Thunder just they still make me a little nervous because they haven't until they actually get there. Yeah, they keep adding pieces, they keep doing certain things, but until they actually get there again and actually like get in striking distance or getting a championship, man, it's like can't take them serious right now. I think the Nuggets always have a possibility of running them down. So we'll see. I'll say right now the Thunder, but the Clippers don't. They have the machine of the Lakers and the Suns. Coming at them. Everybody in that division has a chance in the Pacific. As far as the Southwest is concerned, like it's a little deeper when you look at the West. Like any one of those teams can be taken off the top.
You're definitely right about that one. Bobby, bro, looking at the Western Conference, man, it's hard at the top. Pause. Where, which team can we see out of all three divisions can we not envision being at the top of the standings as the season ends?
All right, this remind me not to take any betting advice from Jay, man. This dude loves going against the numbers. It's like crystal clear. It's a draw. And it's right between Memphis and the Clippers. I mean, obviously I agree with what he said. The Pacific Division is wide open. If Kevin Durant can stay healthy, Phoenix can win it. The Lakers, who knows what's going on in that building in LA, but they could win it. Golden State, all it takes is Steph to get on one of his hot streaks. They could win it. And then in the Southwest, Ja just keep going in and out, man. And if he's not on the court, it's a wrap for the Grizzlies, especially and Luka. He gets on that hot streak, then the Mavericks could take off. So yes, it's clearly one of those two. Oklahoma City, they got a 7-game lead, man. It's definitely not gonna say it's insurmountable, but you just go with the numbers. It's hard to make up games.
Damn, how many championships y'all won when you out here like proclaiming stuff in December, man? Like the first.
What did I proclaim? I'm talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Just saying, man.
What did I proclaim?
It's like you say they got 7 games up. Like we in February.
But that's a hard thing to overcome. Like this ain't the NFL where you're a game behind and you play that team next week. You watch baseball teams trying to make up 10 double-digit game leads, bro. That's difficult. That like it ain't just next week they'll be 7-game lead. That's huge. Like that is huge. Look at the other two divisions. You got 4 teams within a game and a half, bro.
This
team
collapse,
has a
man.
7-game lead.
You in lollipop land, man. Somebody's going to collapse, man. I hate to say it, like somebody's going to collapse.
Okay. Listen to yourself. Somebody's going to collapse. Who's more likely? A team up 7 games or a team up 1? It's just basic math, bro. Math.
Yeah, you going basic math, but I'm sorry, the NBA hasn't really been basic math all our lives. So
the Houston Rockets win tomorrow, they're in first place. If the Oklahoma City Thunder lose tomorrow, are they out of first place? No. Basic math. But it doesn't matter. That's the whole scheme. Like to make up that 7 games, it ain't an easy task. To make up 1 game, I'd put my money on those teams all day. I got an opportunity for. Let me count it out. The Lakers, half game. That's 1. Phoenix, a game. 1. Golden State, 1 game back. The Sacramento Kings are 3 games back, and they're the worst team in the Pacific Division. Houston, half game back. Dallas, 1.5 game back. That's 7 teams, bro. I'll take my chances with those 7 teams against your Nuggets making up 7 games all day, every day. All day, every day.
No, I concluded with saying any one of these teams could be taken off the top. That's how I
Yeah,
concluded, right? So we're gonna go from that. But again, like I don't know, man. We've been watching this long enough, man, to sit here and be like, oh man,
yeah,
they
it can happen, but it's what's more likely. That's all.
And
Seven or the one.
I'm in a similar joint, man, where as I'm looking, it's really the one of the biggest toss ups between all three divisions. But the ones that stand out are gotta be that Pacific and that Southwest, man. James Harden is having a resurgence type of season right now where without Kawhi Leonard hindering him from controlling the pace and making him being the decision maker of who's going to score, when he can score. James Harden has said on multiple occasions that he is the system. Right now, James Harden is the system in LA. When Kawhi Leonard decides to come back and his knee is capable, I think all of that is liable to change. And this is where Jay mentioned Kevin Durant possibly staying healthy. This is where they fall off, and the Lakers could catch them. It's only a game or two behind for the Clippers. And then with Memphis, I'm really, really thinking as we get closer to the playoffs, as we get closer to February, as we get closer to crunch time, their youth and their naivety about what it takes to be a championship team will catch up with them. And then a team like Dallas will begin to show themselves as Klay Thompson becomes more and more comfortable in the system. So I'm right up there with you guys. This is a really big toss up, especially in those two divisions. But I can almost guarantee you we can shake up the Boggle board right now, and it damn near we might end up with all three of them. Say what? Say about it?
Sounded like you said the Bible.
Oh no, don't shake the Bible. But yeah, for real though, it's liable to happen. And then we're getting closer to the second hour, guys. So I'm gonna skip this question, the second question that I had to do with the division playoffs right now, and we'll keep that going. But man, let's go ahead and get to it, man. We normally do something fun, and what we're gonna do now is kind of just take a peek at the Christmas Day games, man. Everybody knows, Christmas basketball is a part of the NBA. One of the main parts of the NBA that we love for the holiday season. You ain't got nothing to do. You're with your family. You ain't got nowhere to go. And if you're someone like me who's brought up in a TV centered basketball family, you got basketball games to watch. And it's cool. You know what I'm saying? You get to talk trash, you get to eat food, you get to play with your gifts. You get to, well, now I got kids, they're gonna play with their gifts, but I don't give a damn what they feel like watching. We watching basketball, baby. And right now, you know what I'm saying, as we look at the lineup, let's just go down the list, bro. Real quick, because we're getting closer to that second hour. Which player are you most excited to watch on Christmas? Now, the reason why I say this is because let me look. Six out of the last 10 years, between 2 and 4 players have scored more than 30 points. One player has scored at least 40 in the last 2 years. There's always some type of exhibition going on when it comes to the Western Conference, where the last 2 seasons the players have scored 40, such as LeBron and Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry on 2 years prior. Like, who are we excited to see this Christmas, man, as these young players are actually making a name for themselves? Bobby, what you thinking?
Ant.
Ant
Man. It was Ant Man.
Man.
On that list, he's must see TV.
Okay. Jay, man, player we excited to see right now, Christmas.
Honestly, I want to see this first game. I hope the first game sets the tone. So, I want to see Wemby go out here on Christmas Day, and he's been trending a lot lately. So hopefully this is a good week for him. I'm just man, I'm just hoping for everybody's health. Just wish for everybody's health to stay healthy, man. I just want to get the best season as possible, man. I just don't want nobody to serious, man. As soon as I get excited for somebody, it's like, damn, what could have been. So I don't want to like get my hopes up. So let's just put Wimby in bubble wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like all the stars, damn it, all of them. Like we got to have a great Christmas, man. No, but I guess I'm gonna answer just that question and say Wimby because I want to talk bad about somebody. Like Lord knows we don't need to watch these fools now.
Got you. Okay, and I'm gonna close it on this one, right? Always somebody to look forward to seeing, and their team has done pretty well. I got a chance to see them in person. I'm excited to see that last game and look at Jokic, man. 31 points. What we talking 9 assists, close to 13 rebounds. Yeah, I'm pretty much excited to see Wimby up against what should be some decent competition with a healthy Suns roster. Next. Which matchup are you most excited to watch on Christmas? Now, I think you kind of alluded to it a little bit, Jay, and I think the same thing with you, Bobby. Which game are we thinking is meaningful as far as matchups are concerned on Christmas Day?
What's the most meaningful?
Yeah, well, which matchup are you looking for?
Oh, this is match. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking for exciting basketball. Yeah, the Minnesota Dallas. See Luca and Kyrie. Yeah, should be exciting on both ends of the floor.
Yo, what's up, Daniel?
Jay, man, most exciting matchup. Which one you thinking about?
Like I said, man, I from what I've seen, uh, the night could end like at 8 o'clock. It looks like a lot of people might be falling asleep. Um, like possibly for real, 8 o'clock could kill everybody.
Or on Netflix
You know what I'm
watching
saying?
football.
Right,
Yeah,
and
football might take over by that time.
football is king, and that they think that and the NBA thinks that they're gonna get a lot of eyes watching, and it's gonna be the complete opposite when they look at the score one way or the other, or look at the play of each team. They have to put them in hyperbaric chambers, man. Make sure this game is like worth the bill. But hey, uh, Spurs and Knicks. I hope they set the tone. I hope they set the tone for the rest of the day because they're gonna need it, man. Like now football is infiltrated in the Christmas, so hopefully the NFL and the NBA's perspective, hopefully the NFL doesn't have as good as a game. Like somebody, teams get stomped. They are not great games. But the NBA they need the first game to set the tone, and then the rest of the night, like some legendary nights, along the way.
Right, right. I'm going to go with Philly Celtics, man. I think what is one of them, just one of them joints where um you know
You just want to see
somebody,
your team get the easy
yeah.
dub. That's what you want to see.
Now Philly has been playing. Philly's one of those teams where without one of their stars, they have been playing decent.
Hmm.
And to be real, you know what I'm saying. Tyrese Maxey showing up, Reggie Jackson showing up, Andre Drummond. Everybody forgets Andre Drummond has finished top five, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago in a row for rebounds. So he does pretty much Embiid like things, just minus the points. And Paul George is coming out there and looking rather crispy. So I would like to see that matchup. Don't get me wrong. And then it is what it is. Straight up. Let's see. Do. And then once again, yeah, Crimea on Christmas Day. All right. Now, this is the one where I like to get everybody's opinion. Who's going to get a lump of coal? That's right. Which game is likely headed for an upset?
Okay.
Out of those Christmas games?
Can I? Huh? Okay. Well, I'm gonna say we're all gonna get a lump of coal for the Lakers and the Warriors game. That's a lump of coal right there. You saw what happened. Um, you know, I hope it's a good game, but then You know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Lakers and Warriors, man. I think it's gonna be the worst game of the night for some reason. In the sense of they the Warriors got to do something. Let's see how this week goes. Leading into that night. But I think that's gonna be the worst game out of every last one of them.
Well,
Well,
okay, not necessarily the worst game, but you think it's headed for an upset, which of course the Lakers are right now ahead of the Warriors. Do you think the Warriors will beat the Lakers?
I mean, which one of these games would you consider an upset though? Like nobody sorry is playing that day, bro. So like, yeah,
Nobody's sorry, but which team that is lower in the standings may be the higher seeded team? Like an upset would be the Spurs beating the Knicks, and that's the game you watched. You said you was looking at, or you were interested in. Would you think that the Spurs would beat the Knicks? Maybe.
I mean that's possible. I guess if you want to call it an upset. I mean, this is Christmas Day games, so like everybody has a chance of winning. I guess I would go with the Spurs, getting a win on the Knicks.
I can't lie about that. That actually is a good one. Bobby G, man, where's your upset linked up right here, bro?
I'm going to magnificently avoid this question. No, yeah, I'm with Jay, man. I don't really think anything's an upset, but I can tell you who's gonna get a lump of coal, and that's Yusef Nurkic. Because yeah, Joker gonna put about 40, 20, and 20 on you, and that's not gonna be fun.
Ah,
Nah, man.
whew.
Nah, man. It's gonna be. Let's just hope. Nah, man. It's come on. Nah, man. It's just gonna be one of his most spirited games of the year, going against somebody who, at one point in time, they had to choose two people. They had to basically choose between
Yeah.
who they were gonna get rid of. And
Mm-hmm.
we got, whatever. But maybe he'll play spirited because of that. Like he always look at that matchup as his game to show everybody that hey, I'm worth a great nickname and some
He said a great nickname.
a legend about me. You know what I'm saying? Like why not? So I think he's gonna play spirited. I think it'll be one of his most his best games of the season.
He does every time.
Mhm.
Go look at Joker's numbers against Eric. I really think he don't like that dude. And every time he plays him, he tries to show him this is why they kept me and got you out of town.
Okay. So for me, man, I'm gonna say this. I think that the upset game or the upset matchup is actually uh Lakers Golden State. And although Golden State laid a huge egg against Memphis, LeBron and Steph have some spirited matchups. Curry is 15-7 in the postseason uh, against the LeBron James led teams, but the regular season is tied at 10-10. Curry normally edges them out some kind of way. So let's see if the Golden State Warriors can wake up for this one, open the gifts, rewrap some presents, or unwrap some presents, and realize that they are a 3-point shooting team and they have the best shooter that God ever created on their roster, and possibly, surprise the Lakers. And then, fellas, man, I appreciate everything we did today. We're getting closer to the end of the show. So you know how it goes. We got that buzzer beater, man. Man, you know what? In the spirit of Christmas, man, what do you want for Christmas, guys? One thing you want from your favorite team, for your favorite team, to receive as a Christmas gift. And I know it's a lot of things we could name, a lot of teams we could mention, but of course we know that we're talking about Cleveland, the Cavaliers for Bobby, and the Portland Trailblazers for yourself, Jay. What about me? Of course, y'all know me, the Celtics fan. What are we wishing for Christmas for our respective team?
It ain't gonna happen. We don't have trade assets. I'd love for us to be able to trade for Cam Johnson. I think he fit nice with our roster. But I will settle for a phone call to the Los Angeles Clippers and Nicholas Batum. I think we need that type of veteran defend multiple positions. Got some experience. I think he really helped us down the stretch. So any kind, or maybe even Bobby Portis, he's up a trade. So we need an experienced stretch big to come off the bench. So that's my Christmas wish for the Cavaliers.
Hey, OJ, man.
It has to be over, but the season to be over, man. Like, I mean, I like like I said, it's still early in the season, and we just beat the Nuggets. We're trying to make some strides here and there. Chauncey Billups, I guess he's built on teaching. Hopefully, ownership, which we really have none. We're kind of in a bad spot, man, with the owner's sister pretty much being custodian of the team. They claim to say that she cares, but we haven't quite made the bold moves, and we try to, I guess, in a way, stay competitive in a way by getting better. But yeah, you can tell, man, since our owner has passed, it's not the same. Our owner used to be pretty much, he'll spend some money. That's for sure. Like he was able to spend some money. But yeah, I don't know where to go. Like I don't know what to say. We need. How about an owner? How about
there you go.
Josh Harris says he's going to buy the Blazers and he's going to be done with the Sixers, or I would say an eccentric owner, somebody who's just like, hey.
How about Daryl Morey? You know Daryl Morey?
How about Elon Musk?
What? I don't know about that. I mean, money be good.
Portland is a tech. Portland is one of the tech hubs of the world. Maybe Elon Musk really might be about that.
That is true.
I feel like he would change the name of the team to the Portland SpaceX.
I just don't like. Yeah, I don't trust him. Yeah, we're talking about, like, I would want a sports, like somebody who's actually into sports. You know what I'm saying?
The Magic Johnson
control the team. So, a owner. Let's go with that.
Got you.
No, Magic would never.
Yeah, Magic. Nah, Magic on too much anyway. And then for me, man, I'm just gonna wish for health, man. Wish for health and wellness. Things happen to the Celtics all the time. We got, players that go down, players that come up. Jason Tatum, he's doing great. We got Brown out here in the streets doing great. We got old man Horford still balling. You know what I'm saying? I just want health. Porzingis coming back eventually. Health. That's all I want. I want to unwrap. Joe Mazzulla. I want Joe Mazzulla for some help too, because he hype. He gonna have a heart attack the way he be acting on the court sometimes. Joe Mazzulla is like the coolest looking coach until like a really random negative event happens. Then he's all over the place and he looks like he's about to scrap. So shout out to Joe Mazzulla. But I would definitely wish for health, man, for my Boston Celtics.
Speaking of scrapping, when did it become an automatic ejection, even if you square up on somebody?
Listen, it's the new NBA. Don't show out. Shout out to Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson square up with everybody. Apparently, that's just how he get down. You know what I'm saying?
They throw single punch. They just square you out of the game. What?
Yeah, man, it's that new NBA stuff going on, man. But look, bro, I think we did pretty good. We made it to the second hour. We talked about a lot of basketball. We got a lot of basketball going forward. Of course, next week is going to be a conundrum because not only is there basketball on Christmas, but right after that, we're going to be running straight into New Year's on in no time, man. So first of all, from the In the Hoop team, we want to wish everybody watching and everybody who's sticking with us a happy holiday season, a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Is Chinese New Year? That's not Chet. But anyway,
bro.
You're way off.
Yeah, right. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Definitely want to wish everybody a happy holiday season from the whole In the Hoop team. For my guy, Bobby G, for my guy, Jada L and the MIC, we're gonna be up out of here, man. And we're gonna go celebrate with our families this coming week. So peace out, man.